I come from a single home, a mama who had 5 kids. I'm the middle son, you know what I'm saying? Me and my brother, we've been back and forth and in and out of prison over the years. And, I'm just, I've been to prison when I was young, came out, went back, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, my story, really, I overcame the odds. When I went to prison those 2 times and I came out, I came back out, I've been, I ain't had no incident with the law since in 20 years now. So, I came from a home, my daddy was on drugs, you know what I'm saying? Never had no moral mutual support. I always been the background of my family. Since I was 12 years old, that's when I got caught up in the streets of being a provider. For my mama, just seeing her just struggle and, cry when the bills come on the table. So, that's more of my story, the struggle itself,
Where were you born?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi, but hometown Columbia. So, like 20 minutes out from each other.
So the hospital was in?
Ford General, Hattiesburg, yeah.
I see. And where do you reside these days? Same city?
Hell nah, Jackson, Mississippi.
And how far is that from Hattiesburg?
Shit, I don't know, about 2 hours, I guess. Yeah, about 2 hours.
And what age were you when you made that move?
Shit, it's been recent. I've been back and forth from, where I'm from to Jackson, but I just made that move this year to where I'm like, this where the love at, this where I got to be at, so this where I got to make my second home at, you know what I'm saying?
Was it a music career choice or a different choice?
Yeah, I definitely say it was definitely a music career choice because, all the guys in the city that deal with music, you know what I'm saying, some of the key elements behind the music scene, they embrace me. And everyone in the street niggas up there, they embrace me. So, it was just best for me because, like they say, from your hometown, you'll never get that elevation because ain't nobody gonna embrace you like that, even if they seen the struggle. But niggas outside of that, they show love in the Jack.
Now, are both parents still in your life today?
Yeah, my mom, she just overcame cancer. She had a trauma surgery, was laid up in ICU for 8 months, died twice, and they revived her back. And my daddy, he stayed at one of my cribs down there in Columbia, in my pool house or whatever. He's still with me, but we don't really have that relationship because, I just allowed him to stay there because I just didn't want to be out there homeless, you know what I'm saying? But we never had no relationship. We don't really get along like that, you know what I'm saying? So, that's my point of view.
You don't get along, but you have him staying at one of your residences.
Yeah, it's just like, when you see so much and you've been through so much, and me going to prison at such a young age, and for your daddy to deny your calls and have your grandma deny your calls and just not being there and being supportive of everybody else's kids except his, I was the one had to make a way for my baby sister and them, through school and their graduation. So for him to be neglected like he was towards us, I think somewhere inside me, I still got a grudge on that. You know what I'm saying? I forgave him, but I still got, it's a piece of me to still hold him to that. But like I said, I just did the right thing because my grandma passed and asked me to do that. So, I feel like, I honor her wishes.
And I want to talk about that relationship a little bit more as well, but I kind of want to get like an overview first. What age was it when your parents split? What age were you when your parents split?
I was still in, I was in primary school because the day they wind up just splitting, I was on the school bus and we was on a well-known street called Orange Street in Columbia, Mississippi. And the narcotic agent was doing a drug bust. And just so happened, I was looking outside the school bus and I seen my daddy, you know what I'm saying, arrested. And they had cocaine and all that stuff, You know what I'm saying? So they arrested him and several more. And that was the last time I saw him until like 7, 8 years later, you know what I'm saying?
He did prison time?
Oh yeah, he did. He's a habitual offender, so he been in and out of prison for years, you know?
But he did prison time for that length of...
Right.
For that drug bust.
Right.
So he reappears. When he reappears, he obviously got released from prison.
Yeah.
But your mother and him, it was over at that point.
Yeah, because my mama, she's a real spiritual, well-grounded woman, you know, and you know, the things that he was on, she was never, you know, into, like for the drugs, the alcohol, you know, and just his, you know, his demeanor. You know, my mama is like all about, you know, the righteous. You know, if you ain't for righteous, she ain't really trying to, you know, put you in a circle, period, you know, so it never worked out and never will work out, for the record.
They were married at one point?
Nah, she ain't never married him. They just were together for a long time, you know, over a span from me. They had 3 kids together, so they were together for consecutive years before, you know, he invaded into the streets and it lapsed towards that direction, you know.
So 3 of the 5 siblings.
Yeah.
Same mother, same father there.
Right. My baby brother and baby sister.
Now, when he comes back from prison, back and reappears in your life, were there times you would ever live with him? Or you just stayed under your mother's roof?
Well, you know, I never lived with him. You know, he never would allow me to live with him, for one. So, you know, the last time he did come out, you know, he came out and he got sidetracked, and I paid money to put him back in rehab. So when he came out of rehab that time, you know, he was sober. He had shook the monkey off his back, but of that substance. But he went to the alcohol and it drew him even worse. So, you know, it's like one of those situations where like you try all you can, and then eventually you just got to, everybody got to live their own lives. You can't let them stop
you. They didn't have a good relationship with each other when it came to, I guess after that prison situation there, that drug bust situation.
Nah, they always been cordial, you know what I'm saying, due to the sake of the kids, but as far as anything intimate, that's always been X'd out. You know, she'll never go that route again.
Ever dealt with a step-parent after that?
Yeah, I had a stepdaddy, he just died last year from stage 4 lung cancer. Yeah.
They caught that very late.
Yeah. Well, they caught it, and they gave him the option, but he just one of those type of individuals, you know, like they believe, you know, if you be like, hey, I don't believe in what the doctors say, you know what I'm saying? So he just preferred to not go up under what they wishes were and just go on ahead, you know.
Was he a smoker?
Yeah.
Safe to say the lung cancer derived from his smoking?
It probably did. Most likely it did, you know. But they could have saved him, you know. They had his technology so high tech nowadays to where they gave him the option. They had 2 options to where he could have lived. But, you know, my mom was in ICU, so she couldn't make the decision because she was on life support. So it was a decision he had to make.
Do you have a good relationship with your step-parent?
Yeah, we had a good relationship.
Sometimes I do this interview with people and they have a toxic relationship with a step-parent. It's not so good.
Right.
Why were you able to have a good one when I've interviewed others and it wasn't a turnout like yours?
Well, see, I realize, you know, you can't set high expectations, you know, so high to where you believe people ain't human. Everybody entitled to making mistakes. And I just feel like when they embrace you with love and they always genuine with you, you know, you should show that back. You know, now he was there for me when I came out of prison. Him and my mama were there to pick me up from the bus station. And he embraced me instantly, you know, had cookouts for me and all that stuff. So, you know, like, I think a lot of the time people probably get sidetracked with that and want to blame the step parents for the situation in their life. But, you know, we all grown. You know, we all got to make our own decisions. A step parent don't dictate where you headed. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. You choose your own destiny.
Let's say somebody's watching this and they have a step parent in their life. Anything you would say to somebody in a situation such as that? Of course, circumstances could be different for everybody, but somebody watching this interview, listening to your story, anything you would say other than what you just said about having a step parent?
Yeah, you know, my thing is, you know, if you have a step parent and they step in and they show you love and they being supportive, and, you know, your mama or your daddy may love them, and, you know, they just truly committed, and they show you that, then you got to, you know, you got to give them a chance. Although we all would want for our parents, daddy and mother, to be up under the same roof, we all ain't fortunate for that. So we just can't, I don't feel like you should charge them for that mishap, you know. It wasn't part of God's plan, and I just feel like you should give them a chance. If a person willing to love you and support you and help you achieve your dream, you know, you should be all for that. You shouldn't neglect them.
Do you have any children at this point yourself?
It's crazy you ask, because I just found out. I thought for years I ain't had no kid, but 2017 kind of found out after 7.5 years I have a little girl. So yeah, beautiful little girl like that.
How'd you find out?
Shit, DHS hit me with a motherfucking paternity test in the motherfucking mail. And I took the blood test, and, you know, it came back 99.
After you find out you are the father, what was your reaction at that point?
I was afraid at first a little bit. You know, I was shook, because, you know, you talking about, I live this type of lifestyle, and now, you know, you bring a little girl in the picture, a little girl, you know, you got to make some adjustments to how you move. So I was kind of like shook and afraid at the same time, because I ain't know if I was going to have the capabilities of being a father, you know what I'm saying, a good father at that, you know. But, you know, through the good Lord and a good support system from my mom and sister and old lady, you know, everything worked out.
Did you have, before you take this test and it's positive that you are the father, the person you had this child with, were they asking you to do this for quite some time? Did they ever bring up to your attention, hey, you may be the child's father, or it was forgotten about or swept under the rug, or?
It was just one of those things. It just was out the blue, because my baby mama, like, it was a one-night stand situation. So, you know, I just felt like, you know, if it was any possibility, you know, that's something that should have been, you know, stepped on earlier. You don't wait the 7.5 years and come in and, you know, but hey, you know, it part of God's plan, so whatever He got for me, I'm with it.
So you don't hear from this person in that time span?
Right. Like, only time I heard from them, like, whenever, like, it be like reunion or something dealing with, like, high school's event, because we was classmates. So, you know, I never heard from them from that perspective, to where, like, you know, hey, you know, we may have a child, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
And this was a total shock.
Yeah, total shock. A one-night stand, you know what I'm saying? After so many years, you know.
So when you get this test, you just get this notice in the mail, or does the mother's child bring this up to you and say, hey, I need you to take this? Like, how does that work?
Nah, they actually, I guess she must have went to them and mentioned my name, and then Like when I went to my residence in Columbia, I checked the mailbox and it was like up in there like, whoa, paternity test. Like what? So I was kind of like shook. So my mama called me and was like, hey, yeah, they sent the paternity test. And so, shit, I called my old lady like, man, they talking about a paternity test, talking about like I'm supposed to have a daughter. Man, they tripping, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, well, you got to take, you could take it and see. And so it just went through with it. But it was all new, it was all new for everybody.
You've never had that request ever before?
Ever.
Now, I've never personally gone through that experience, but is it a choice to take a paternity test when you're asked in the mail to do so? Or like, is it mandatory by law? Like if you don't take this, something could happen to you or no?
Well, it's a choice up to a certain extent because like I think like if in Mississippi, if you don't take it, they can automatically just charge you for child support.
Oh.
For basically, so they could charge you for child support. It could be whether it might be your child and it might not be your child, but you're gonna pay for it. So if you go about the proper way within the court, that's how they orchestrate it, But family court, it's real expensive. It'll get to you. So more better pick their battles wisely, you know what I'm saying?
Now, because you dealt with the split of your own parents, when it comes to raising this child, do you do so differently because you experienced that yourself, or?
Yeah, well, I feel like every real man, every real woman that went through a struggle, they definitely gonna try to their best to give a child the best living that they possibly can do, enlighten them on things with knowledge that, at our time and in our era, we wasn't up to par on. So I think, yeah, most definitely.
Now, in regards to your own father, what was his reasoning for not being around?
Man, that's something that I never really gotten. That's a question I still ask to myself. And it hurt me to this day because, at one point, when I was first born, because I was the first born out of the three by him, it was like, it was a denial. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a denial. And then when I came out, everybody like, oh, that's he's identical. You know what I'm saying? But just to know that fact later on now in life, like, damn, like this nigga denied me because I been in this nigga. I embraced him. I always showed him, utmost respect. Nigga, you denied me. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like I said, a lot of that stuff play a role with me. People don't see that because I don't allow them to see it, but deep down inside, yeah, you always got some skeletons in your closet, and that's one of them that, I think about all the time.
Have you ever had that conversation with him?
Yeah, well, when I asked him about it, my mom was present because she brought it up, and he couldn't answer. He just got quiet. And we was at my crib down there, sitting out around the pool. And she was like, well, why you ain't tell him about, when you tried to deny him? And I'm like, what? You tried to deny me? And he kind of just like looked off and just walked off like, wanna give me a beer, you know what I'm saying? So it was like he was dodging it. But in all actuality, that would happen. But my grandma, rest her soul, she knew from the moment I came out that I was his. So, that means more than anything.
This was the grandmother on your
my
father's side?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
That's who actually asked you to take him in?
Right, before she died, yeah.
And he's dodged that conversation. Was he ever apologetic to you?
Never. No.
Now, he was in the streets, as you described.
Right.
And there was a point when you were in the streets as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned you were incarcerated in prison twice,
Mm-hmm.
which stemmed from, I would assume, your street path.
Right.
And I want to ask you this question respectfully. Because your father was in the streets.
Right.
And then you end up being in the streets yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Did he fail you as a father?
Yeah, I think he did, because at the time, you know, he was working. Even though he was in the street, but he was working. And, you know, he was providing for everybody else. And, you know, I would have never looked toward the street if I would have had some type of, you know, support. You know, if my mama would have had some type of support. But the funny thing about it, I was 12 years old. I started out selling cigarettes and Black and Milds, hustling through the neighborhoods and through the projects. And then when I got to Enlighten on the other side of the field, he came to me because it word had traveled. And was like, man, your son the one who hit. Yeah, you know, like he got the juice around him. So instead of him coming to me, you know, you think, you know, as a father figure, you'd be like, hey son, look, this ain't the route, you know. Yeah. He was like, well, I can't get on you, you know what I'm saying? But I need you to, you know, put me in a situation, you know, and I'm gonna show you how to really do it. So, you know, it's like one of those type of things, you know. You in the street, your daddy in the street. He was a hustler at the time. You front your daddy. You know, you're serving your uncles. You know, you're serving your aunties, your cousins. You know, these people that raise you. And that's the position he put me in, to where I had to. When I really feel like you know, only thing I needed was a little bit of support, and I think I could have went the good route, you know what I'm saying, and went through the school, because I was good in school, you know.
You served your uncle and aunt and things, and these were your father's side?
It was a mixture.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the same drug you would serve all of them?
Yeah. Yep.
Care to share what drug that was?
Nah. Nah, we're gonna keep it on ice. We're gonna keep that one on ice. But yeah, it wasn't the normal, you know?
When you're asked by family members,
Yeah.
relatives to serve them, was there ever a thought on not doing so?
Well, you know, I never wanted to be the one that, you know, fronting my daddy and have him out there in the street working for me and bringing me back money. I never wanted to front my uncle and watch him, you know, smoke and stuff like that. But, you know, it just like, they made me feel so guilty, because they like, if I don't get it from you, somebody else will, you know. And I just didn't want, as far as the one that was user at the time, I know how people treat users. You know, they treat them with no respect. And I always been a man in the streets. I always, since a teenager, I always felt like respect was more than anything, despite of what a person does. So I was just like, man, you know what? I do it, even though I hate to do it, but just to make sure my people straight, just to make sure my people don't get misused, I'm gonna do this for them. But I know everybody hate me for it if they know it, but I got to do this for them because it made more sense. I had to do what made sense. If I didn't do that and I allowed them to go to the streets and somebody slapped them and something like that, you know, disrespect happened, then, you know, then you got a problem, then we coming. That's how it was back then, so, yeah.
After doing so, did you ever feel, and again, this is serving family members and things of that nature, did you ever feel I know the predicament you just described, but after doing so, serving them and this, that, and the third, did you ever feel guilty for doing it? Did you ever feel remorseful for doing it?
It, you know, of course, because they dead and gone now. So, you know, I have my moments. You know, that's one of the reasons why, you know, I just wasn't with it no more. You know, because I felt like it's a lot of people that was kin to me, and I loved it, and they gone on now. But I did something that I thought was right. But as I grew, because you got to remember, I was younger at the time. So as I grew, the maturity laid on me like, damn, you know, that was wrong. I shouldn't have been doing that. Maybe I could have saved the illness, you know. Maybe I created that illness, or maybe I contribute to that, you know. And that's them questions that I ask right now today. So, you know, when I look back on it, hell yeah, I regret it. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't, you know, one thing about me, like, I don't let the money rule me. I don't, you know, I don't cherish that shit in that nature to where I trade it in, like, I trade the respect and love for family when I consider your family for it. Nah, I'd rather be broke before I allow that to destroy you. If I knew better back then, you know.
And you were fronting your dad first before serving your aunt and uncle, or which had come first?
Shit, I was fronting the whole time. So, you know, it's crazy, but yeah, he was one of them, man. And you know, I had a crazy incident. I never really got to speak on the incident, but as I was fronting him, it was crazy because as he built up, you know, he had got, you know, the ladies and all that shit. So, you know, when it was time to pay this one time, that when shit went left. You know what I'm saying? I came to him and just asked him like, hey, what's up? And he like, nigga, what you mean, what's up? I'm the daddy. I'm like, okay. And I ain't think nothing else of it. I just like, oh, well, I guess he on some other shit. So, and he came back, shit, I got ready to walk out the door. That mother stole on me. Pow! Pulled a knife to my throat, cut me right here under my nose with the knife and all that. And I ran outside, had one of my partners with me. Ran outside, got the pistol. My grandma came out of church service because the house was right by the church. And she begged me not to kick the door down and shoot and all that. So, yeah, it's me and him got a, you know, that's my daddy, like, love that. But it's like, it's also some real, you know, rubber type of feeling there, you know what I'm saying, because of the history.
You end up going to prison at some point in your life twice. Care to share what you actually went in for and how long?
First charge was for attempted murder. Co-defendant with my oldest brother. Then my mama, she kept being on the lawyer, so they reduced it and got it reduced down to aggravated assault. And then, like, when I got out on bond, I was still in school around that time. When I got out on bond, it was homecoming weekend, and I was getting ready to leave from the alternative school because they had put me in alternative school just off the word of mouth about what I was doing in the streets. Never had no facts, they just threw me in there. But I got ready to leave alternative school. I had a 75 Plymouth Ferrari, gold D's and all that on it, TVs and everything. So I'm walking up, and my partner, Brand, he was like, man, they got narcotic agents all around your car. So I'm like, damn, for real? He's like, yeah. So I walked over there. They had narcotic agents all around it. It wasn't nothing in there. So they waited, they left the car alone. So I got back to the car. I wasn't thinking. I went to my mama's crib. Like, damn, these folks just left been on my car. Fuck, they must be on to something. So I go over there, I holler at my older brother. He up in there high off the weed. Like, man, I'm like, what's popping today? Anything jumping? Yeah, couple motherfuckers called, but man, fuck it, wait till I wake up. So, you know, me, young nigga, impatient, ain't know the, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't really had the game all the way down packed. I thought I did. And I was like, fuck that. So I took one of his partner. His partner was like, I know somebody. They waiting right now. They got 1,000 right now. So, shit, I went over there. And shit, it was a setup. And so I tried to run. And so that when they caught the possession. You know, I caught a possession coke. They caught a whole bunch of, you know, some coke up in the car and shit. Yeah, so they hit me with the double felony rule, like you can't bond out. You just gotta sit into court. And so that's what I did. I sat into court, and like a week later, they got my brother on the same type of shit, dealing with the same flaw-ass nigga. And shit, we sat up in the court. And when we went to court, shit, my mama, she was fighting on the outside, and they finally, they offered 32 years for me, 28 for him. But eventually, you know, it was just God, you know. He stepped in. My mama, like I said, she a real praying and spiritual woman. And he stepped in and changed that 32 to 5. So, you know, I did 5. And, you know, I was a juvenile. I was supposed to went to Walnut Grove in Mississippi, but I went to Greene County automatically to the adult penitentiary. You know, I was in there the whole time, in the adult penitentiary. And stayed up in there. After I did that sentence, then they had me doing the read, like a boot camp type shit. So they ran my shit consecutive so they can put a stamp on my back with the 2 strikes. So the next time they can try to check me out, you know. Because in Mississippi, you know, 3 times you out, you know. So yeah, that's the shit I had to face with, been faced with. You know?
So the 2 prison sentences ran
consecutive. I had to do one. Like, I had to do the boot camp shit first for the dope charge. And then they came back for the aggravated assault shit. They came back, I had to serve 5 plus 5-year papers, you know.
So it was a total of 6 years altogether.
Yeah, if you want to put it like that. But technically in the prison system though, because in the boot camp system, it was like 6 months. But the prison system, I had to actually do them calendar.
Okay.
Like, yeah, with the grown men, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And what age was it actually when you actually do the prison system on calendar?
17. Yeah, 17. I got out of prison when I was around like 22. Yeah. Came back when I was 22. And then they violate me on some bullshit, on a curfew violation. And you know, to this day, you get motherfuckers catch DUI, weed, all kind of shit. They still out there. That motherfuckers violated me for a curfew violation. You know, I took my lick. They gave me another year for that, you know. And I came back in 07 after that, yeah.
So how long, when you leave prison, before you go back for that year stint?
Shit, I was only out 8 months. You know what I'm saying? I was only out 8 months, and you know, the PO I had, he was an asshole. You know, they were still judging me off my past, you know, off my history. So he was type motherfucker. He see me at the traffic stop, red light. He stopping my cars because I had like 6, 7 whips. So he like stopping even one of them in the midst of traffic, searching it, just trying to find anything. So I knew the moment they called him, like, oh, he out past the curfew. I'm like, shit, really? I'm a grown ass man. I'm grown now. Like, I shouldn't even have no fucking curfew. Y'all got motherfuckers out here and that's on paper, and y'all ain't gave them damn curfew. They can drink and go in liquor store and everything, but everything with Cheezy, it had to be like, oh, if he thump a cigarette in you know, downtown, you know, we violating him. That's how it was, you know.
And you have to do that year in prison as well?
Yeah. Well, I had to hire another lawyer, you know, and technically I felt like shit, that was a waste of money. You know, that was $2,000 that, you know, shit, we could have saved because like I told my mama about it and he just went, like he's supposed to be in an ex-DUA and shit, that shit didn't work in my favor. Shit, he came up and there, hey, you ready to go home, buddy? I'm like, hell yeah. He like, well, this the deal. I'm like, what deal? He like, I'm ready to go home today. He like, nah, he gotta do a year. A year? Motherfucker, I just paid you $2,000 for a curfew violation and I ain't even did shit. And you trying to let these folks give me a whole year? But, you know, I ain't, shit, I was already in there for a couple months, so I just adapted back to how it was, you know. You know, and just wish I would have never paid that motherfucker. For real.
But you actually, all in all, you actually do a total of 6 years in the prison system.
Yeah, if you want to put it all together, yeah. I came off papers, I finished my paper time in 2013. I got my gold seal. And, you know, they were like, shit, they were trying to keep me in the whole length of it. And my PO just was like, look, man, I'm gonna save y'all this headache, man, shit. If you can go cash out and pay off all your fines at the city and at the county, and we'll call it even. And I'll put in for your gold seal. I said, how much it is? He gave me a few $1,000s, shit. I waited a minute. Shit, I went and cashed all that shit out. Shit, he was a man of his word. He dead now though, but yeah, he was a man of his word. He made that shit happen.
So because you were on papers originally for 5 years.
Yeah.
After you get out and you do this 1 year stint in prison, how much time is left on your papers when you leave that 1 year?
Well, see, it was so crazy because that's what I'm saying, like the prison system in Mississippi is so crazy because, like, technically, that shit's supposed to be, you know, a knockoff to the paper time. If you gonna violate me on something, you got to condone me for time served upon what's left on the remainder. But shit, when I got out, they were still talking about this and that. They had all kind of perks with that shit. Like, I'm like, I done been on paper this amount of time, and then they're like, well, you got to pay all your fines. Like, man, nah, that shit shouldn't be like that. So it was just another way of trying to extend and keep you trapped in the system, you know what I'm saying?
When you were offered this 5-year deal, originally for your aggravated assault case, if you didn't take that deal and you fight it in trial and lost, what would you have faced?
Shit, 25. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I was a stand-up guy before I knew I was a stand-up guy because my brother was getting ready to have his firstborn, his first little girl. And he was my co-defendant. So I went to the DA and my lawyer, and my lawyer sat there with the DA and told him, look, y'all can let my brother go. Like, he got something out there to live for and to try to provide for. Shit, I'm young, you know. I get another shot at it, you know. I take the rap for everything. And they were just like, you know, my mama like, what? And like, I like, yeah, I stood up in the courtroom and everything in front of the judge. The judge was like, you realize what you was saying? You saying? I said, shit, yeah. My mama like, no, Your Honor, he don't know what he's saying, you know what I'm saying? I like, nah, I take the rap for everything because that's how deep my loyalty run when I got love, you know, and that's my oldest brother, and I wanted him to be there for his child to see his first little girl, so, you know, but it didn't work out that way, but that's what I, you know what I'm saying, threw out there. I was gonna take everything.
Was there a thought of you actually fighting this in trial, or did you make the best decision there? Hindsight 2020, looking back, taking that plea deal.
Yeah, because the deal didn't actually, the plea deal didn't come about until like the day before trial. And they came over, you know what I'm saying, with a proposition, and, you know, me and my brother looked at each other and like, man, fuck that, tell them to crank it up. I'm like, shit, fuck it, man. The lawyer looked at me, I said, well, we cranking it up. So it was a trustee, my little partner, he called Little Man, and he was like, Cheezy, you know what you doing? I said, shit, I don't know, but shit, we're gonna try this 12-man jury. He was like, nah, I don't do that. He was like, you go over there, I'm telling you right now, man, No folk gonna throw you away for a long time. Think about that. You better call your lawyer. He was a trustee. So we was outside on the cellar port. I was like, you think so? He like, yeah. So I ran to the fence. He ran to the fence. He went to calling my lawyer. I was calling him. He came back. And I was like, when he came back, me and my brother were right there in the cellar port. Met him like, 5 years. Tell him we accept that. And that's what it came back to be. But this was like a day before trial. The trial was set that next day. And they had state witness, That's why I don't too much trust people, because a lot of these niggas that say that they with you and then you click with you and say they got love for you, these niggas be state witness. I saw their names. I never reveal them, but they know I know.
What did you, from the prison experience, what did you learn from that? What did you take away from that?
I had the prison experience. It grew me. It made me more strong mentally. It made me discipline myself. I think that's when I understood the true value of self-discipline. Because you got to think about it, being young in a prison building with nothing but grown men. You're not around no women, so you got to stand on all 10 and be a man at all time. And it just trains you from not to be weakened by that. Then it also grew me in the aspect of growing into understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, and letting me know, like, every incident doesn't call for a physical reaction or a violent reaction. So it benefited me on my decision making, on making a better me, and understanding that everybody won't be with you, and understanding that the ones who are with you, they're gonna show you they with you, and they're gonna value you. But it was only a few that I can count on my hand. But yeah, the prison system really groomed me into being a man better than I was introduced to on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it just taught me that discipline, and gave me that insight, that third eye aspect, to where I seen things in a different element on for the way to progress. So yeah, it was all love up in there. I had some real solid soldiers up in there that was rocking with me a long way.
That state witness, how were they treated or dealt with in the free world?
Shit. The thing about it, it's just like today. They could be a state witness and they'll praise these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? They'll praise them. I don't give a fuck if they're a drug lord, they're a killer or what. But if they, if they jeopardize somebody, a real nigga, a nigga with, that live by something, and a good nigga, a righteous nigga, then they ain't gonna think nothing of them, fuck them over. They gonna look at the fact that, oh, this nigga on, you know what I'm saying? This nigga can help me out. This nigga, man, that nigga be having all the hoes and shit. They don't look at the principle of shit, And I think that's what it was. Like, the same niggas that did that shit to me, niggas still greeted them. No matter, and I was good to all these niggas. So, me, if a nigga did that to a nigga I know that stood on righteous and was good to all of us, I wouldn't have nothing for the nigga. That's just me. But, a lot of these cats gonna, this shit water down as the year go by, A lot of people, I made a song a long time ago, they don't under the code no more. A lot of people don't understand the code because they break it. Niggas don't have principle. Niggas don't have morals and integrity. They gonna forget all about that shit, So anytime a nigga do that to his partner, a nigga he consider that his brother, shit, he'll do it to his mama and sister. So he can't be trusted.
And that state witness, when they went back into the free world, was it known in that area that, hey, they were a state witness? Was there a knowledge of them being a state witness when they were back in the free world?
Yeah, you know, you get your emotional discovery, you're gonna see their name. And you know me, having a connection to the street like I had at the time, shit, I put it out there, you know, and shit, really get out there with it, you know, but, you know, like they say, karma is a motherfucker, you know. Some of those guys, you know, they caught with heavy sentence right now, man. Probably never get out. Died, you know, dead and shit, you know, so, you know, that's all a part of karma.